Have you ever been told that certain centers give more marks than the others? Or has somebody ever said this to you before, that use n number of idioms and complex sentences if you want to score more than 7 bands? Well, we'll figure out the real answers in this video, and I am Sanjana Arora, your certified language trainer. But today I'm not just going to teach you, I'm going to share my personal experience with you, how I scored 8.5 bands in IELTS speaking. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you, does the center really matter? So there are three parts. Part 1 is the introductory question. So whenever you are being asked introductory questions, please do not give one word answers. See, this is a speaking exam, right? So if you do not speak, you're just giving yes, no and objective kind of answers, then what is going to be the criteria on which the examiner will be able to evaluate you? So you should speak more. But sometimes the answer does not require any explanation. For example, if you're asked, where are you from? So that obviously means that I am from Chandigarh, the city beautiful, which is the capital of Punjab and Haryana. But if here you keep on telling that these are the places that are located here, Rock Garden is here, Sukna Lake is here, then that is utter nonsense, because that has not been asked to you. So you have to answer what has been asked. Now, the main thing is, guys, see, you need to really keep it as a conversation. For example, when I am talking to you via video, I am talking to you, right? It does not seem that I'm sitting in an exam hall and I'm trying to flaunt my vocabulary. The examiners are very smart and they'll be quickly able to identify if you are pretending something or you are actually that person. One thing is, please do not go for very fancy words. They are not required. I'll tell you the reason. And the second is, kindly do not fake the accent. I have seen multiple people, and I've actually seen some teachers also who are literally faking the accent, and a fake accent is very much visible. If you think that my English is not having a normal English, or I'm trying to copy the American, the British or anything, then feel free to give that feedback to me. But I believe that my accent is very natural, right? But there are some people who try to force an accent. Do not do that, because see, English is a global language. It is not true that only the British English is the correct one or the American English is correct one. If you search on Google also, you will always be able to find that for every word, our Google suggests us 3 pronunciations, and those are American English, the British English, and the Indian English. So that means if you keep your natural accent, then also you are going to get a great score, and that is exactly what I did. Okay, now let me tell you the incident that happened on the day of the exam. What happened was, I went to the exam center. So I don't drive. My mother dropped me, and when she dropped me, I had to go on the second or third floor. I can't recall very well. I went inside the lift and I forgot to press the button so that the lift starts moving upwards. So for complete 2 to 3 minutes, I was just chanting in the lift and wondering that why I have not reached yet. And it was then that I saw that, oh, I completely forgot to press the button to reach the upper floor. So why I am telling this to you is because I want you to know that everybody in this world gets exam jitters. Even if you are not nervous or scared, on the day of the exam, there'll be certain butterflies in your stomach. And if you're having those butterflies, that means you are prepared and you are sincere. So those will always exist. So never think that I am nervous before the exam, so I'll end up spoiling my exam. That is not going to happen. You are having those butterflies because you are excited, and it is good to be excited because that is something you want to do. Your score is going to help you in getting admission into your desired university, in moving to your desired country. So you should be excited and you should feel those butterflies. But because of that, you should never ever get nervous. Then I had to enter the hall. So I entered the hall and I'm most of the time smiling. You can see in all of my videos, I'm always smiling. I'm very talkative. And I think that is what helped me. If anybody is telling you that be very serious, please don't be that, because your speaking session is meant to be a conversation, and a conversation is always meant to be a happy one. So now that doesn't mean that you will be showing your all the teeth all the time, but you should have a decent smile on your face the way I'm talking to you, right? Maintain the eye contact. If the examiner is looking at you or the examiner is not looking at you, you should look at the examiner. Fine, because that will show the examiner that you are really confident, and this is actually what is going to fetch you a higher score in your exam. Then comes the part 2, in which you get a cue card. Well, to be honest, that at least in India, we always know that which 20 cue cards are going to be there in the exam center. So you only have to prepare 20 cue cards, and one of them is going to come in your exam. So be prepared. Now don't cram it, because it should not look like that you have tough out something and then you are just blabbering it over there, because it is meant to be a conversation, right? But you can develop your ideas in advance. In my case, I did not do it because I told you that I did not prepare at all. I had no idea. It was my first experience with the IELTS exam. So I had no idea. I went straight away to the exam center. I knew that I had to speak for 2 minutes. So over there, my cue card thankfully was something of my interest, and that was my favorite series. And everybody in this world who knows me is aware of the fact that I am obsessed with the series Friends. Okay, so I got something for which I can actually talk about for 2 hours in one go. So for me, my cue card was very simple. But if somehow you get a cue card on which you're not having an idea, then I would say that be prepared with those 20 cue cards in advance, and one of them is definitely going to come in your exam. So be prepared for your cue card, because over there you have to speak for 2 minutes. And yes, please do speak for 2 minutes. Do not stop in between. If you think that you are already done with everything that you wanted to say, but the examiner has still not stopped you, then what you should do is extend your answer. Now, how we can extend the answer is start giving the summary of whatever you spoke and give a fresh perspective to it. So this is going to add length to what you are speaking. Now comes a very important thing that I talked about in the beginning as well. Once again, I'm telling this with experience that I did not use a single idiom in my speaking session. But for me, it worked because I'm really fluent. If you think that you might end up losing some marks on fluency, then use 2 to 3 idioms, right? Because they'll act like a cover up. So the idioms are going to just compensate for it. So try using them, but please don't force it. So let it be natural. If you think you can't use idioms naturally, then please don't use it. Please don't try to force vocabulary, because the examiners are smart, they are intelligent, they know English, and they can recognize when you are taking the pressure. The IELTS speaking is meant to tell the examiner that in a situation, in a particular situation, you will be able to carry on the conversation with ease, with comfort. That is all the reason for which the IELTS speaking exam is conducted. Moving further, now I want to talk about fluency. We all know that we have to be fluent, but there is a misconception that being fluent means being a fast speaker. Well, that is absolutely not the truth, and I can vouch for it. I would actually suggest you to go slow, to speak slowly, because what will happen is, number one, if you start speaking slowly, for example, if I say, hi, my name is Sanjana, so this will give the examiner an idea that this is your way of speaking, right? So the examiner is not going to deduct marks for that, and fluency is not equal to speed. Fluency means that with what kind of flow you are able to speak, and that means that you should not be fumbling. That is the most important thing over here. Your fluency depends on your fumbling, not on your speed. So please don't think that you have to be the fastest train of the world in order to sound fluent. You don't have to do that. Instead, go slow, and this is also going to help you in your cue cards, because if you speak slow, then obviously you would require less content to speak for those 2 minutes, and that is going to be a really smart move. Try implementing that, and I've seen many students apply this technique and it has really worked for them. Now, moving further to the last part of the video, and that is the most important one. Does the center really matter? Is it true that if you appear for your exam in a big city like Chandigarh, then you will score lower than what you could have scored if you appear for an exam in a small place like Fagwara, for example? So, is this true? Well, this is a myth that is circulating everywhere, and I would say not just in India but all across the globe. But my result is a proof that it is not true. My score, I told you, is 8.5. I've also shared my score with you so that you can see that I'm not lying. My center is also written over there. My center was Chandigarh. And people sometimes also say that if you're having a lady in the age bracket of 35 to 45, they're going to give you a very bad score. Well, that is also not true, because in my case, the lady who took my exam was belonging to that age group only, and it was very evident. But she did give me 8.5. The examiners over there are not sitting to kill you. They are not sitting with the intention that they don't want you to move abroad, or they want you to stay in India, or they don't want you to get admission into your desired college. They are there to honestly evaluate what you are speaking. So if you speak the way a conversation should be held, without making it so pretentious, or without giving it a vibe that you are sitting there only and only for the exam, trust me, you are going to score great. So I wish you all the very best. So this was just my experience, and I've shared the strategy of the IELTS speaking in another video, and I'll be sharing its link in the description box. And if you want to see my write-up for multiple cue cards, then you can follow me on Instagram. Over there, I post content exclusively related to IELTS exam, or sometimes of French as well. And if you like this video, then please do not forget to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. And it would be really sweet if you could leave a sweet comment or a compliment for me. And yes, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.